Hello everyone, my name is Abby Cook.
I'm Kaylee Patron.
I'm Gabrielle Bonk.
I'm Abby White.
And today we're presenting on microfinance. In the beginning of our presentation, we're going to give a brief overview of what microfinance is and some of its history of how it was formed. Then we're going to look at how microfinance relates to civic engagement and some of the positive benefits it has for society. Then we're going to look at some of the shortcomings of microfinance and then some of the solutions that us as a team came up with about how it can be improved and how it can even be expanded to other industries and sectors to benefit even more people worldwide. Kelly's going to start us off with a brief overview of microfinance.
So, microfinance is the supply of loans, savings, and other financial services to impoverished people throughout the world. This usually involves a small loan, and it came about because traditional banks were only designed to lend to people that already had financial assets and not people living in poverty. So, microfinance institutions came about, and they are either nonprofit or corporations that will lend to people in poverty. So just a brief history, microfinance began in the 1970s in Bangladesh with Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who was an economics professor at the University of Chittagong. Dr. Yunus wanted to find a solution to help small villages who were suffering from famine, so he started lending $27 to women in villages who were making bamboo stools. His loans allowed the women to break the cycle of debt, and he later founded the Grameen Bank Project in 1983. He went on to win a Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts in 2006, and we found a brief quote from him that exemplifies his efforts to use civic engagement in what he does. He says, "I'm encouraging young people to become social business entrepreneurs and contribute to the world rather than just making money. Making money is no fun. Contributing to and changing the world is a lot more fun." So microfinance and civic engagement. Microfinance has a positive impact on low-income individuals and families by allowing these families to become self-sufficient and break into new business ventures and become entrepreneurs. Research has shown that microfinance increases household consumption and empowers women within communities by allowing them to take out loans and become independent. Additionally, it encourages the use of contraceptives, further empowering women. Abby's going to go more into that a little bit later on in the presentation. Lastly, microfinance improves the nutrition of young children. As you can see from this graph, these are some of the major countries that are breaking into the microfinance industry, and Bangladesh is one of the top countries right here. So now Gabrielle is going to talk a little bit more about microfinance and poverty.
A way that microfinance demonstrates civic engagement is through alleviating poverty levels. The loans that the people receive are more than just a financial check. They have been shown to help act as a support system to the people receiving the checks and also encourages them to live a more positive life. They're determined to get jobs and to achieve their goals. Microfinance also provides protection against risk and a safe place to store their money. Microfinance has been shown to positively impact communities both emotionally and financially. In this graph, you can see that throughout the past 5 years, microfinance has grown about 20%. And 75% of households that are currently living in poverty have been helped. And the loan amount has also increased. So you can see that as time goes on, microfinance is expected to grow and reach more people who are living in poverty. Here are some real life examples of microfinance having a positive impact on communities all over the world. In Bangladesh, the BRAC clients increased household expenditures by 28% and assets by 112%. And the income of Grameen members were 43% higher than incomes of people in other villages who did not benefit from microfinance institutions. This helped the economy because since the people had higher incomes, they were able to spend more. In El Salvador, the weekly income of FINCA clients increased on average by 145%. In India, half of share clients were lifted out of poverty, and in Ghana, 80% of freedom from hunger clients received income from a secondary source, and in communities that were not benefited from microfinance institutions only received 50% of other income. In Indonesia, the average income of the bank borrowers increased by 112%, and 90% of households grew out of poverty. From these statistics, you can see that all around the world, microfinance has been positive and has helped people grow out of poverty as well as achieve their goals. Next, Abby is going to be speaking.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Microfinance has also been shown to help women around the world. Around 68% of global microfinance customers are actually women, which is a significant amount. In addition, women tend to be more reliable borrowers than men, which means they tend to pay their loans back on time with the interest as well. Women also invest in things that help to improve their families over the long term. For example, they tend to invest in education and healthcare that it's going to help them and their children for years to come, rather than investing in more short-term luxuries that are only going to help them for a day or two. In addition, microfinance allows women to become empowered. For the first time in many of their lives, they're able to earn income, start their own business, which allows them to be independent from their husbands, from other males in their communities. They're allowed to make their own lives for the first time, which really gives them more confidence in achieving their goals. This also allows women to be better respected by their families and their peers, which also helps them to start their businesses and be able to be successful as well. Women are also able to be involved in commercial economic activities, which prior to microfinance was heavily dominated by males, and now women are more easily able to get loans, so they're able to enter into some of these different economic activities that they weren't able to before. So far, we've discussed some of the positive benefits that microfinance has around the world. However, there are some shortcomings when it comes to microfinance that now we're going to discuss. So one of the major negative parts of microfinance is that the loans generally have extremely high interest rates. Usually the rates are over 25%, and they can be up to 75 to 100%, which for any individual is enormous amounts of interest, and this makes it extremely difficult for individuals to pay back over time, as you can imagine. Therefore, this allows the bank to make a profit, but it is very difficult for individuals to pay. In addition, at many of the microfinance institutions, their motivations have become about generating a profit rather than actually helping the poorest individuals that need these loans. They have started to focus on better off clients that they know can pay back their loans rather than risking lending money to poor individuals that actually need these type of loans. In addition, there are some situations where microfinance can end up making poverty worse in certain communities. A lot of times the money is used to buy necessities and doesn't generate additional income, so individuals are not able to pay back the loan. Therefore, they take out new loans to pay back the first loan, and this just continues until they end up into a cycle of debt that makes it very difficult to pay back over time. In addition, a lot of businesses that they create with these loans are in poorer communities, and unfortunately a lot of individuals in these communities cannot afford the products that they're making with their new businesses, so they end up not being as successful as they could be. Therefore, microfinance is an attempt to alleviate the poor by allowing the rich to profit from it as well. So as we've seen, there are a lot of positive benefits of microfinance, but there are some shortcomings. Therefore, our group came together with some ways that we think it can be improved and expanded upon, and now Abby is going to discuss these.
Thank you, Abby. So, like Abby was saying, there definitely are some positives and there are some negatives to microfinance. And I'm here to talk about some of the improvements that our group came up with that we believe could really improve microfinance. We believe that when microfinance was first brought into play, the loans were for only businesses. However, we believe that now, with having these people in lower income brackets, they don't have as much money for these basic necessities and food that they probably need. Therefore, these loans, as long as they are repaid, they can be used for some of these necessity products and for food. Another way we believe microfinance could improve is through the use of applying that idea of lending these technologies and loans to those poor income brackets. Finca uses a program now, and it's a non-profit organization, and Finca goes into these lower income nations and sells them some of their technology pieces like stoves or sanitation systems, and these systems will allow these entrepreneurs to really prosper. This is kind of entering into a different sector that microfinance really hadn't before. Another way for microfinance to improve is through the use of technology. Technology is booming all across the world. Therefore, if we were able to have these people in rural villages that are very far from cities be able to get a loan, maybe through the internet or through an app or something on their smartphone, then many more people would be able to benefit. Many of those living in these rural villages are not able to get to the cities in order to get to a bank to get the loan that they need. Another way we believe that microfinance could improve is to make the microfinancing process more personal. Everyone that needs a microfinance loan is put into this one category of low income and high interest rate. We believe that maybe if someone gets a loan to begin with, does very, very well, repaying it on time, then maybe for future loans or for future months, they could get a lower interest rate. This would really give an incentive to those people to really break the cycle and to maybe get lower interest rates on future loans. Lastly, we believe that microfinance could improve through lowering their interest rates. Currently, interest rates could be up to 100%, and that is very daunting, especially to these people who never have lent money before. They are paying back 100% and more of their loan. Therefore, we believe if they are decreased, then maybe it would just allow these people to prosper even more. Like I've said, we believe that microfinance could enter into other sectors. One sector that microfinance is actually already entering into is through the medical industry. They are tapping into these health networks to bring forth health improvements. It was actually already tested in Haiti. In Haiti, they went through these microfinance institutions, and the chiefs there actually administered drugs. Now, it was actually very successful. People that are living in these poor and rural areas don't have the access to healthcare that they need. Therefore, this makes them so they can't work when they really need the money, and it's, again, adding to that cycle. Therefore, if we were able to do like Haiti did and enter this program into other countries, then many more people would prosper. Right now, microfinance institutions reach about 200 million households, and it's growing 20 million households per year. Therefore, combining the medical industry with the microfinance institutions, we would be able to reach that many more people. In conclusion, the goal of microfinance is to give individuals in poor communities access to credit. There are many positives and negatives, like Abby and Gabby have talked about, and like I spoke of, there are many improvements that we believe could be made to the microfinance industry. Even though there are some negatives, we believe that through a couple tweaks, additions, subtractions of different types of things, we believe microfinance as a whole could be very beneficial for the years to come. Thank you.